live.
Oh, we're live?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh. I think we need to clean the lens on this camera a little bit.
It's just the one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the wide angle.
Yeah.
Learning things every day. Okay. Is anybody in the chat? Yeah.
Lain kalah.
Hey, shitty. Just in remembrance of
Oh, Ratu
Ratu Sukuna.
some medal.
Oh, my grandfather's medals
Yeah,
here.
from the
From the Malayan campaign. Shoot.
And you can
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about that. Right. Then you can talk about your grandfather.
Yeah.
This is medal.
I wonder where those are.
Uncle John.
Maybe.
It's not here.
No, I've seen them. I used them not long ago, or I held them. Maybe no, that was a few years ago, I guess now.
Yeah,
Oh, that went so quickly.
Stressful.
So stressful.
We live?
Yep.
Still live? Is anybody in there?
Yeah, 12 people.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? I'm just trying to pull up our talking points for today. I'm dressed up. Well, like, what is this? Golf dress? Sulwakatanga.
Bulu binaka TJ Maxx.
Happy. Do you say that? Happy Ratu Sukuna Day? Can we say that?
Happy Ratu Sukuna Day.
Remembrance Day. Yeah. Where is this drive document?
Leaky said he can punch you.
Oh, yeah?
With those people.
Oh, Leaky said he can punch me. My boy.
And he said I can punch my mom.
Oh.
Wampul naman tani.
Well, everybody.
Kurui. Boy di motoriki. Aturangan ni korti ni kormo. Gubuk nga ko. Aturangan ni koro nas ni koro cunggur untuk di kamera. Oi.
So, today is Ratu Sukuna Day in Fiji. Who was Ratu Sukuna? He was a really like smart guy too, huh? Like many degrees, right? Yeah.
Early days, he's like the smartest.
Yeah, and I'm pretty. From what I understand, so guys, I didn't do a lot of research before coming into this. My apologies. It's coming off the weekend with the family here, but yeah, he was a guy who had many degrees, and I think he even put a lot of people, like a lot of children of other chiefly families, into school. Huh? Like he paid for the schooling and stuff like that. From what I remember. And he was also the guy who kind of, I don't know, what do you want to say, pioneered the Sulwakatanga. Yeah.
Why didn't you show people who
stand up?
Yeah. They don't know what the Sulwakatanga is. So yeah. Open it again.
Hey, yo! So it's the pocket Sulu, huh?
Yeah.
Pocket Sulu. With always has the secret pocket in here. What is this actually for?
For money.
Coins and stuff like that, right? So it doesn't fall out. Yeah. You're Solia? Suki. Hey. So yeah, this is like I guess this would be like formal wear across the, like obviously in Fiji, but across the Pacific, right?
Pacific.
Yeah.
So
he pioneered it in Fiji or in the Pacific?
Yeah, in Fiji.
In Fiji. So
I don't know about the rest of the Pacific.
But it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like to like coming from like our traditional wear.
Yeah.
To then like wrap around
Sulu.
Sulu, then to Sulu Wakatanga.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ito na lang.
50 grams, 70 grams, or 3 big scoops. So
Uncle went to uproot his 10 year one grog.
where?
After they just came back
In
with
Taruja?
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
450 kgs. Shit. Wak.
Eh?
Waka boy. Yeah.
Oh, mo kami ni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one that he planted fuku. Bati.
Oh,
Mm. Yes,
for the beginning of the cane season.
yeah.
So cane season is starting, I think, Monday. Eh?
Monday.
No.
This month.
Tuesday.
This
Yeah,
coming
the
tomorrow.
cutting start.
Tomorrow cutting start, and I think the mill opens in Lambasa. So for those of you who don't know, this is probably silly to even say, but one of Fiji's main exports, the main export, is sugar, and so sugarcane, that which comes from sugarcane. The sugarcane cutting season starts tomorrow here in Vanua Levu to now,
To now.
and then the sugar mill in the northern division, which is where we are, opens on Thursday.
This Thursday.
Well, that's what I heard.
Mm.
That's what I was told.
From
So yeah,
start cutting tomorrow.
start cutting tomorrow. And you?
Me? Cheer.
Yay, cheerleader.
It's gonna be the cooker.
So what do you guys think? Okay, we've been throwing around this idea of me of me doing like a week of like kind of to document the life of not the life of a cane cutter, but like the life cycle of the industry, I guess. Like what it looks like to be a farmer who like owns the cane field, which is like a lot of people here. Um, and then do like cane cutting, then go to like the mill with the driver, see what like the because
Yeah.
like you were saying, right? They
Yeah.
when the drivers there get to the mill, like there's usually a long lineup of trucks, right? And so they sit there and they
Have a few bowls.
have a few bowls of kava and sit around and yarn together and share food and then go through the mill and come back. So we were throwing around the idea of doing like a week kind of like documentary and like releasing like every day. I was thinking for like videoing, editing, releasing like as the week goes on. A week in the life of a cane cutter. Yeah. But kind of getting like an overview of like the whole industry, maybe. Nobody ever. I haven't seen it at least, and I think it would be. I don't know, something like where we come from in Senganga in Vanuatu. Like it's something that is. It's like the lifeblood of this place. Like when sugarcane cutting season starts, it's like there's lots of new people in the community. Like like lots of kava sessions and money starts flowing, like people are spending more money and there's kind of just like a vibrancy. So kind of like I guess when maybe for Sabu and like the yacht season opens up. Bula everybody. And happy Ratu Sukuna Day.
Happy Ratu Sukuna Day. That.
So would you guys be interested in seeing that? I don't know. I don't know if like I don't even know if I have the time to like take out of the schedule for that. Obviously, this would be a big time commitment. But I don't think I'd be pulling, or maybe I should. Maybe I should be pulling the long nights with the guys drinking coffee and stuff. What do you think, Stephanie?
No.
No, okay, it's a no from her. But yeah, like with that, like it's kind of like for me, it's like it would be sharing part of like our community. Not everywhere in Fiji is affected as much by like sugarcane industry or the sugar industry as we are, but like Senganga is like that's what we do here. That's what people have done for years. Like all of my uncles, my dad, everybody grew up doing that. Their dads planted cane, or they were part of groups that went around and harvested. And harvesting still happens by hand in this place at least. It's too hilly and muddy right now, especially. So, would you guys be interested in seeing that? Let me know.
Okay. Since you were talking about the sugarcane, somebody here commented. Would you like me to read it? It's from Success Channel. Oh, did you know how much they pay for cane farmers? Cane farmers get 8 cents per kg. Like 8 cents divided by 1,000 is $80 a ton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think the price right this year was 80, 84, 85, is that? 80?
Uh,
That's around the 80 mark, I guess, right?
uh, is that what eh, cheap, or is it a good price? Is that what I mean?
The Fiji Sugar Corporation has announced a whopping $70.23 per ton
Whoa, it's just dropped.
for 2023. So let me just pull this up because I know that the government kind of tops it up a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so I'm just pulling this up. Yeah, like so. What was that? 8 cents a kg.
Yeah.
8 cents a kg. Not of sugar. That's of the whole. That's a raw product, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So they're not weighing the sugar. They're weighing when you go to the mill. They weigh
Yep.
the actual product that's on the truck. So from my understanding, they weigh the truck on the way in,
Mm.
and then you get weighed on the way out,
Yeah.
right? And minus this,
Yeah.
and
Minus
that's
the from the heavy of
right.
the truck. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Weighbridge.
So Tui behind the
Mm.
camera actually used to work for FSC. What was your role at FSC? Like testing and stuff like that?
The lab. Work
In
at
the lab?
Yeah.
So do they test like every day? They're
Yeah.
running
Every hour.
every
We
hour.
get to
Okay.
test the sugars, the milk muds, the
Oh, okay.
water.
Right.
We get the fibers from the four meals,
Yeah.
because there's 4 meals, so we pick like
Samples? Okay, okay.
from each and every one of those, and then bring it back.
Interesting. Yeah.
Pick the sugar samples, bring it,
Right.
test it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be something I'd love to like show everybody too, like because I don't know what goes on at the mill, but
Yeah.
maybe they don't. Maybe they're pretty kind of hidden about it or hush hush. Like maybe the work standards are not very high because
Yeah.
like if they were, like why wouldn't they showcase it, right?
There's
Like
field trips. People will come.
right,
go
but are you
to-
allowed? Maybe you're not allowed to film, huh?
Yeah, you're not
Okay.
allowed to take photos or whatever.
Right.
Because boy, the mill is so old.
So old.
Yeah, it's so old.
Right.
But yeah,
But,
they
like, what do
maintain
we-
it to a standard. But
What are we ashamed of? Like I mean, if somebody wants to like, it's like if anybody throws us hate online, it's like, what do you want to do? You want to give us money so that we can do better?
mm,
It's like, like what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's not. We're doing what we
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Like
But
so,
you
the government's
you
already
you
topping up $14.77 to make the guaranteed price of $85 per ton.
Okay.
So that's what the farmers will be getting this year, $85 per ton. And the whole like payment system of like they talk about bonuses like that the farmers get is so convoluted. Like I've asked so many people how
Yeah.
the payment system works, and like I think there's 3 payments in a year that like say my uncle down there, he has 16 acres of sugarcane.
Yeah.
And I think he gets 3 payments in the year.
Okay.
And I don't know how that works. Like they say bonuses, but I'm pretty sure bonus just means payment.
Mm.
But maybe somebody behind the screen can explain that to me better.
Mm.
And then I think the cane cutters last year they were getting paid $20 a ton. I think $20 a ton, right?
20 a ton.
And then the truck drivers are charging $18 a ton or $20 a ton for hauling it from here to the mill.
Okay.
Yeah. So like say you got if you got 13 tons times 20, you'll pay $260 to the cutters.
Mm.
That sounds high to me. $260 to the truck. So now you're at 520. 85 times 520. So there's basically like you're like 50-50.
Mm.
Yeah, you're 50-50. That's what I remember. It's about 50-50 like that you pay out just for the truck and for the cane cutters.
Oh, okay.
But then you also have a lot of your like fertilizer expenses and spray that the FEC also works kind of like a lending agency, like you and the Sugarcane Growers Council,
Mm.
or Sugarcane Growers Fund. Like you can borrow against your cane farm,
Okay.
and then when you get your payments, like it gets cut directly from
Yeah.
the top, and you just get whatever's left over. And so
Fertilizer and all those
yeah,
things.
yeah. So in my it's no different than farming anywhere else in the world, like even in Canada and the United States. Like I come from generations of farmers on my mom's side, that did really small scale. Like they only farm like 140 acres each of them, which sounds like a lot, but these guys were doing it with horses hundreds of years ago. And so like their horses would pull machines that had engines. So like they had harvesters that like harvest wheat, and the harvester has like an engine, but it doesn't drive itself. So you have like a group of like 4 or 6 horses that pull this machine along, and then it does all the work on the side. So when I say 140 acres, that's a very small farm in Canada, and basically those people don't exist anymore. There's no small hobby. There's hobby farms, but those are for people who have money in other places, not to like live off their farm.
Oh, okay.
Now you're farming. You got to be farming like over 1,000 acres, like to make it really. I think nowadays in overseas.
Oh.
So I have friends like that we go to church with. They farm like 16,000 acres.
Ooh.
And so, like, let me see, Honolulu area. Let me just see.
Normally in the chat, I used to pull loose hanging sugarcane from slow moving Singatoka trains for a quick snack. Well, don't we all do that? Have you done that?
No, I haven't. But when you see like the cane trucks passing, like the road workers, like in the hot night in the hot sun, you just see this and break like sugarcane and then snack on the side of the road.
Like when we still schooling in then.
Yeah.
Like in season.
Yeah. Steamer.
Yeah, the steamer.
Yeah.
The thing that carries the cane.
Oh yeah.
Those always on the side.
Yeah.
So we'll just come after school, lift it, put it on the track, get on, push.
Really?
Even on Saturdays.
Yeah.
We do that to go get firewood. Like we go from here to Korvuli.
What?
Pick the firewood.
Yeah.
On the load it
like
on
3 kilometers.
Yeah. Load it on the thing and you just push it a little bit, then you get on. And then you go and then slow down, then you get off again, push.
And you can get like 1 ton of sugarcane.
I've done that. I've done that too. When I used to stay in Delhi, and then we'll see, or like we're walking back from the town to Delhi, we see like one empty one. They just on the corner of the tracks, and then we sit on it and start pushing it. Oh, it's so fun.
Get found, and we forgot to like put it out of the track.
Yeah.
So when we came back from getting the firewood, it will be like when the steamer comes,
crush it,
push it, then take it along with it. Then we have to lift the sack from there 3 kilometers back.
These are all the good stories, eh? So yeah, the way that I've had this discussion with a few people, and like there's very like complex like welfare systems, or actually there's welfare systems like where basically if you're below a certain income, a certain like threshold of income, like in Canada or places like that, you receive welfare checks if you qualify. And the way I look at the sugarcane industry is, unless you farm on a very, very large scale, like these big farmers, like that's where I was going with this, like big land, big farming. Is like that's the way to really you can make good money, because then like you buy an expensive tractor, an expensive harvester, but it's offset because you have like 1,000 tons of cane or something like that, right? So like that's not doable if you do it small scale. So I think for a lot of people in Fiji, like the sugarcane is like a really good. Hey, Shetty. The sugarcane industry is like a really good welfare system, is what I think. Instead of just handing like checks to people who are like low income, like they plant sugarcane and they stay above the poverty line, or below if some people want to say that, but they're able to feed their families, and they're not just relying on the government to give them money, because that's the other option in a country like this. And so it's not that like sugarcane is the most profitable thing, or that people make the most money at it, but it's better than people not having the thing and then just like taking free checks. Well, like, where's that money coming from, right?
Yeah.
So I personally think like there should be investigation into some alternative options, because like I think hemp would do really, really well in Fiji. I think hemp would probably destroy the sugar industry though, because like hemp is such is such a big thing, like in Canada now, like the industry. So this is the non-THC form of marijuana. Like you can't, there is nothing harvestable off of the plant that you can get high from or whatever.
Okay.
So hemp is used like in clothing, it's used in building, it's used in like different kinds of like household materials, all that stuff, shirts, like
I've seen that, like the shirts, the
yeah,
pants.
dude, it's so
My
nice.
dad used to. He gets like some of his clothes from US, like
Yeah,
some of his friends, and
yeah,
then they would send those.
hemp.
Yeah, hemp. I was like, oh, this is marijuana. And in my head, I was like, bro, if you burn this clothes, you get high. I don't
Not quite, not quite. So it looks like the marijuana plant, but it has none of it's the THC has basically been like been modified out of it. But it's like it's kind of like a bamboo, like it's used for a lot of different things. But this climate and the soil, from what I've heard, would do very very well. Hemp would do really really good here. But they don't. I assume that there's a lot of hesitancy to bring it in because it might totally disrupt the sugarcane industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So Mr. Ratu Sukuna, going back to that, was a Fijian chief, scholar, soldier, and statesman. He is regarded as the forerunner of the post-independence leadership of Fiji. He did more than anybody to lay the groundwork for self-government by fostering the development of modern institutions in Fiji, and although he died a dozen years before independence from the United Kingdom, oh, so yeah, that's right, he died before independence was achieved in 1970. His vision set the course for Fiji to follow in the years to come. Okay. So yeah, so you think because like he's known as like the father of independence, or as some people say, right? Like that's what he's known for, is like initiating, I guess, the process of independence. But he did die before that, so that's pretty crazy, eh? Like to be known for something like a country's independence, but never to have actually seen it happen, but still be known for it. So he must have been a pretty respected guy. But I mean, like, if you're a chief, you have like multiple degrees, you served in the military and in the government. I mean, like, you kind of check all the boxes, right? Like, what is this guy? The best guy ever? Like,
true,
I mean,
true.
like he's not just a small chief though, too, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, wasn't he in one of the high chiefs from Bau?
Chief the chief of the like the province of Laos.
Okay, from Laos.
Yeah, but he's originally from Bau.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like when he was 21 years old, he came like the assistant headmaster in the school there in Laos, like Canberra.
Okay.
21 years old.
Ooh. What am I doing with my life? Okay, guys, it's the end. I'm gonna go off myself.
After he came back from like in England.
Okay. Man, so by 21, he was the principal of the school. Man.
During the First World War, then like he wanted to be part of the British Army. And the British Army didn't allow any colors to be part of it. So he went and fought with the French, something like a special force in France.
Okay. Man.
And he got one medal from there.
Boy. Man. So that's the holiday that we're celebrating. It wasn't. How long has it been since we were celebrating this holiday? Because the
last time
government that was in power, they got rid of it. So 16 years, right?
Yeah, 16 years ago.
So the first time in 16 years, we're celebrating Ratu Sukuna Day again. So I think a lot of schools did like stuff this last week to celebrate.
Yeah.
On Friday.
On Friday, yeah. So
it's a whole week of celebration.
Yeah. So there's crazy, huge celebrations, eh? All
There's
over
a video,
Fiji.
I think it's on that link.
Oh yeah, should we watch this?
Yeah.
Whoa, so this is in Albert Park. Like military out there, presidents there.
He was known as a man of the world who native Fijian land for the benefit of all Fijians.
Okay, let's listen to this.
Ratu Sukuna remains widely respected. He was known as a man of the world, one as a prominent chief, and another as the first among equals of the native Fijian land for for the benefit of all Fijians. Ladies and gentlemen, to fully appreciate the enormity of the work that Ratu Sukuna
Well, thanks for not showing the whole video. It's
Yeah.
cool. Great, nice job. Very nice. Anyways, wow, that looked like quite a big thing, though. Albert Park, jeepers, there's a lot of military out there and stuff.
Yeah.
So what do we got? Tobacco farmers continue to increase.
Marwan.
Hey, yo, tobacco farming has emerged as a thriving niche industry in Fiji as more farmers have been enticed by its potential for growth and profitability. So who is at the head of like the tobacco planting situation? Is it agriculture?
Man, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Or is it just British American tobacco?
BH.
Yeah, or yeah. Yeah, I would assume that they probably don't need help from the government.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
could cover their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Is
this
this the same one like
this
the
new
Suki?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This newfound agricultural pursuit has not only allowed families to improve their lives, but also received significant support from the British American Tobacco. Nalanga farmer says that cultivation period of just 3 months, tobacco farming proves a quick turnaround for them. Before it's really doing cash crop from the farm and then load it and then take it to the market and sell. But this one's different. The market is there. She says that BAT, British American Tobacco, through its comprehensive support and expertise, has played a pivotal role in assisting farmers in the various stages of the cultivation process. Another farmer says tobacco farming is much easier than traditional sugarcane planting. Sugarcane planting is very hard. The one is only 3 to 4 months. 4 months finish, which is a good big amount. Wow. So be careful, sugarcane industry, hey? And that's why like governments put like they put limits on stuff like this, right? Because like good new
Yeah, new thing
developments,
comes
new things
like
can
oh.
destroy entire industries, right? What do you think about that? Like, should they? Do you think they to stop or? I think like
What
I'm a
do
free
you,
market.
okay? What do you think?
Oh,
Why do they do that? Like,
but
are they afraid?
well, I'm a free market guy. Like, I think like if something, just let it be,
Mm.
and like if there's a better way, then people will do it. And then if like the people are doing it the old way, like want to keep doing it the old way, they'll do that until like what do they say? The people don't change until the pain of until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain required to change. So like until like you can keep the people will keep doing planting sugarcane and doing whatever like for as long as like they think like even though it's painful. But as soon as they like weigh it and they're like, oh, it's actually way more painful to keep doing this thing. I'm gonna go to the new thing. That's when people will change, right?
Okay.
And so I think you just need to let that process happen naturally.
Yeah.
Because if not, then the government will do it, you know, when they figure it out, you know. And so I think I believe in a free market, and I think people should be allowed to make their own decisions in democracy. So, yeah, it's not as easy as that. I'm an idiot too, so keep that in mind as well.
But tobacco, does it like? Do you ever thought of like planting tobacco here?
No, I haven't actually thought about planting tobacco.
Mm.
It would probably work
Hey,
really
it
well
is
here. Huh?
the soil
Yeah.
here. Texture,
I don't know.
soil,
It
the
kind of like
sun.
goes against like
You believe?
yeah, like my ethics, like to know like how or why tobacco gets consumed. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think like knowing that tobacco is going to be manufactured into cigarettes, which are going to give people cancer? Like, is there? I think there's an ethical problem there.
Going to the shop. Can I have one BH then?
Yeah, like
Kenza, give me the Kenzo.
give you the cancer off the shelf, please. Yeah, the gold one, not the red one. Yeah, I don't think I could do it just because of that.
Okay.
So TikTok tests an AI chatbot Taco in the Philippines. So social media platform TikTok says in the earlier stages of exploring a chatbot called Taco that can converse with users about short videos and help them discover content and conducting tests. Yeah, so this is more AI stuff that's coming in.
These AI things are crazy, going crazy.
Yeah, so I use AI not as much as I could, but I use it quite a bit. while we still can, and before AI kills me.
Mm.
I want to use it before I get murdered by a robot. So that's why I keep doing that. Do you got any questions so far?
Yeah, there are a couple of questions there. Okay, there's questions here from Ryan Reddy. Hello, Bulutale.
What's up, Ryan?
What processes are involved in preparing sugarcane for export?
Okay, can you talk about it to you? So it's harvested on the farm. If
Yeah.
it gets burned on, like sometimes they burn sugarcane because they run out of time or something like that, and that has to be at the mill within 48 hours, right?
Yeah, and then we have to like
Okay.
test it again
Yeah.
for like the quality, because usually when you burn it, the quality
Yeah, for
drops.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why we don't recommend people to
To
burn.
burn. Okay. So it gets to the mill, the truck dumps it,
Yeah,
and then what?
truck dumps it, goes through the 4 mills, and then the process of all, separating the sugar cane and all that. And our job as a lab gets to test the fibers so that there's not a single sugar that's been wasted.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
if
so like if it's like if the waste has too much sugar in it, then
yeah,
they'll process
yeah,
it
then
more.
we'll call in the mill. So like we'll call the operators like, hey, there's less steam, or there's less water. Put this up, put that up, or like,
Mm.
and then we call the evapes, like where those guys separate the sugar from the mud,
Okay. Yeah.
because the sugar juice, it just comes with the mud,
Right. Right.
so that gets separated.
Right.
And then we'll call the evapes, like we'll get to test the soil, which is the mill mud.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you call it. And if there's sugar in that, and then we'll call them. Every hour we'll just keep
Oh,
on
wow.
testing and calling them. Hey, there's a lot of sugar you guys are
So if
wasting.
nothing is going wrong, then just leave them alone.
Yeah,
Let them keep going.
yeah.
Okay.
But like we need to like keep on testing.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a machine, and like
So it gets turned into like sugar crystals or molasses.
yeah, it turns into molasses, and then molasses, then
How do they turn it from molasses to sugar? Ryan, I got the same questions.
yeah. That's a good question, because
Okay.
that's the job of the fuel station, which is
Fugal station.
yeah, they process all that. And like only our job is to like get all the samples from each and every areas in the mill, and then we get to sample all that and test it.
Mm.
So we need to test every now and then, and even up to the crystal of the sugars. So
Yeah.
it has to be the size.
Oh,
So if it's
it's under
bigger,
microscope.
yeah.
Oh wow.
So we need to like check that as well. Because if it's like bigger in chunks and like different, then we'll call them up like, hey, this is or even like the color of the sugar. It's not supposed to be really, really, really brown. It's not supposed to be really.
Yeah, but well,
really
sometimes you do see like differences in color of sugar,
Mm.
like the bags.
Yeah.
Like some, especially like when you're almost out of sugar,
Mm.
like in the old biscuit bucket, like we have,
Yeah.
and then you get like a new packet of sugar and you dump it in. You're like,
Mm.
hey, it's like way lighter. It's like way darker.
Yeah,
Usually it's
yeah.
not like. Usually there's a difference.
Yeah.
So
So at the back, and then they load it in the trucks, and then they take it to Malo.
so Malau is the like the port,
Oh,
I
the
guess you
port,
want to say, yeah, port outside of the closest port to
Yeah.
Lambasa. Yeah.
And all the boats will be there, ready to be
And there's a big
exported.
conveyor belt, right?
Yeah,
That takes it.
there's a pipe that goes from the across the road,
Yeah.
up into the end where the the ship is gonna be.
Yeah.
So and then they just pour it, and then there's a guy operating it from this end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where does it usually go? Like where do the ships usually go?
UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've lost a few markets, like
Oh.
places. Yeah.
Huh.
It was around like 67, I think. I'm not sure about now, because it's been 3 years since I last.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
The
quick.
last time I was there was a couple of countries that they dropped out.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's the thing too, is like you got to keep your supply or your purchasers happy too, right?
Mm.
So quick Google sugarcane cane sugar processing consists of the following steps. Sugarcane is crushed, the juice is heated and filtered,
Yeah.
sent to a series of crystallization steps to create crystals of raw sugar,
Mm.
followed by centrifugation to remove any remaining juice or syrup. So there you go. So it's boiled basically like it's crushed, then it's heated up and it's boiled a bunch probably to get to crystallize it, a bunch of different boiling processes, and then it's spun really fast to remove any of the like juice or syrup. That's pretty cool. Thank you for the question. Oh, what this person from so this is thick 420 on Instagram. What would your best advice on youngsters like us on life? I'd say your friends. So yeah, so what is my advice to youngsters regarding life? So I think, just speaking from personal experience, and that's all that I can do, I guess, is like your friends have to play a major role in like who you become, or like the course that your life takes. I fluked it out. I had like a really great group of like 3 close friends, like coming out of high school. And then like added a couple more friends into that, which are all like solid guys. And we kept each other accountable. We could talk about anything. We like James, says in the Bible, like, confess your sins to one another. And, we did that kind of stuff. Like we brought up hard conversations and we talked about each other with things that we were all struggling with. You guys probably guess like a lot of those stuff, like whatever guys go through. And yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing for me growing up, was like having a good, solid group of friends. So your friend group, like some people say, like, show me the 5 people closest to you, and then I'll tell you like the course of your life. And so I don't know if that's necessarily true, because there's definitely some people who have broken the mold, but I can say that definitely helped me, because I know I have other close friends who didn't have that, and their life has gone in a very different direction. I'm not saying like unsuccessful versus successful. To me, like a successful life is like, for me, is like, does the person walk with Jesus, I guess, right? So the gauge is a bit different depending on what you want, but also surround yourself with people, like, get rid of the losers, get rid of the people who like don't want the best for you, get rid of people who aren't willing to put in the work like you are, or like trying to bring you down, like trying to get you out of the work or spend money like ridiculous. Surround yourself with good people, I would say. Or join a group of good people, do something like that. That'd be my advice for youngsters. What food, snacks, this is Jessica. What food, snacks, meals do you miss that you can't find in Fiji? Gosh, I don't really know. Maybe what I miss is Costco hot dogs. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
So Costco is like a big, like, it's like the Costco, so like it's a big wholesale chain in North America. Is Costco worldwide? I love Google. Is Costco worldwide? It is worldwide. Okay. They have 14 in Australia. There you go. So yeah, so they just like, basically they don't make any money on their food. It's just like to try to like get you into their store.
So they sell it at a cheaper price?
So they sell these huge hot dogs. They're like this long for like $2, and they sell like a large pizza for like $15. So they lose money, and then you can get like a whole chicken. Like everything's cheap. They lose money on it all so that they can get you into the store.
That's some marketing.
So yeah, so the only way to get to the food is to go through the whole store to get to the food. You can go through the back, but yeah, that's their marketing. Because like we'll go all the time. We'll just go through the back, like and you have to have a membership for Costco. So you have to pay like $100 and some a year to shop there, which is like the biggest screw with your mind of the 21st century, I think. And then before you leave, they have somebody checking your receipts, like as you walk out the door, making sure you didn't steal anything, basically. Makes you feel like you stole from them. And it's the only store that we shopped at that we actually paid for a membership from. It's like, like I paid to be a member at your store, and the deals aren't even that great. And then as I leave, you like check my stuff. It's like, what am I doing here? And I do it every year. What was it like for a transition for the Waka family, coming from Mans02? So look at that. So we got black mosquitoes in Fiji. Because in Canada, they're brown.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. You think that they might be white in Canada, but they're not. We have black mosquitoes here and brown mosquitoes there. For sure. You see the look at your
Got
face.
pink mosquitoes in Moturuku.
Yeah.
Puftawan in buah. Pufta mosquito in buah.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So, what was it like for transition? So for me and Stephanie, like the thing that like everybody needs to understand is that like our goals are like aligned. Like we want to create, like our vision is to have like the most innovative company in the South Pacific by 2031. I feel like I say this every live, but it's because like these questions come up. So we're aligned on that goal and like our mission to get to that goal. And so like we're willing to like sacrifice a lot of things that other people aren't willing to sacrifice. Like, you know, giving up like our great friends and our church, family that we had back in Canada, the conveniences or whatever, I guess, like of living in the city, to come here because like nothing's forever, and like I intend to go back to Canada, like, and to have that as like we basically want to be where we want to be when we want to be there. That's the goal, is to get to the point. It's like, oh, like my grandma's birthday. Okay, you can go to Canada. Like we're not there right now. Like we've only been back once in 3 years. So that's another thing. Like it's hard. That was hard COVID, right? Especially for Stephanie. But we're so aligned on the goal of like our mission and vision for Waka the brand and all the companies under it. They're like, we're willing to like put ourselves through a lot of pain, I guess. Like we don't even find it that difficult sometimes because we're like, this is life, and life doesn't have to be forever. And so like I said, like we will, like this is full time for now, and once things get rolling, like we'll start attracting more of the right people, like we have like with Tui, like we have with like our management at the shop, eventually like you attract all the right people, these people start running the things, and then we can step away. I don't want to do all the things forever, right? That's not my goal, is to like start businesses and like manage them forever. And so but probably the hardest thing transitioning was like, I maybe you guys can tell from these, I don't know, these lives, but like I really like to have like deep conversations with people. And maybe we don't have this on these lives, but I like asking questions and like having like good conversations, like beyond weather. Like one of me and like a friend, like we'd always ask each other like, what's important to you right now and how are you dealing with it? And I was like, and I use that with a lot of people, like people at the grocery store and stuff like that. Like I love cutting through the fluff and like getting to what's going on with people. And so I just find that like it's really hard to find people to go deep with in Fiji. Like nobody's used to it. Like nobody wants, and it's not no fault of anybody. Like it's just like talking about our feelings doesn't do us a lot of good. Like I don't like in farming, it's like, what is talking about my feelings not gonna like, it's not gonna like help me to plant more or whatever like that. So you kind of deal with your own mental health and stuff like that. But I really, really, that was a hard thing for me, was like losing out on people like checking in on me and having those different those, not because I needed checking in on, but because like I just really love like deep conversations. Um, and so that was probably hard. For Stephanie. Yeah, I'd say probably similar things, like just feeling isolated because being even like being in a group of ladies, like in the village at least, like everybody speaks Fijian, right? So you can like input a little bit in English, but then eventually the conversation goes to Fijian, and it's like we were talking about this the other day actually. There's something lonelier about than to be alone and be lonely. Like lonelier is to be in a room full of people and feel alone. Does that make sense? And I think like me and Stephanie like have felt that, especially Stephanie, like where you can actually be like surrounded by people, but feel like, but because you don't fit into the conversation, not to anybody's fault again, but just because of language barriers and stuff like that, you feel alone. And so to be in a group and feel alone is actually way lonelier than being alone and feeling alone. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah, I get that feeling too sometimes. When I'm in like a business meeting and like all these people, big people, just I feel that way too. Like, all right, what can I actually
add to this.
add to make the conversations sort
Right.
of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, and like so maybe that's not necessarily a language thing, like you're saying, right?
Mm.
Maybe it's like just the people that you're surrounded by,
Yeah.
and not surrounded by people who are like not smart.
Mm.
Maybe you're surrounded by people that are smarter than you in a certain
Yeah.
area, right? Like
Yeah.
you're saying, like you
Mm.
feel like, oh, I'm what am I, like the idiot in this group, or like like
Yeah.
yeah. So that was probably the hardest transition for us, but like that's all easily offset when you like look in the background and you see your kids like playing around every day.
Mm.
That's like the best part. So life is hard, but that's great, and I'm willing to sacrifice almost anything for that.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, any advice for this is from Manzo2 again. Any advice to those living overseas if they're wanting to start a new lifestyle in Fiji? Like my question to you would be like, are you gonna get to the end of your life and like wonder, oh, I wish I would have, or like, what if we would have moved to Fiji like when in 2023? What if we would have done that? Like if you're going to do that and you're going to get to the end of your life, like, oh, I wonder what would have happened. Like, imagine like sitting beside somebody, like, what if we would have moved,
Mm.
or like 5 years from now, like thinking about like the whatever your plan with your life coming to Fiji is, like if it's to start a business or to be with family, if like your family's getting old. That was also one of the background reasons for me. It was like I'd spent a lot of time with my grandma in Canada. I actually lived alone, me and her, just her, before my family moved back to Canada. And so I got to spend a lot of time that I'm really grateful with my mom's mom. But I hadn't spent a lot of time with my dad's mom. And so, she is getting older. And so I was like, you know what? Like, that's important to me too, is to like get to be with her and like be a grandson to her, and allow her to like grandmother me. And
Yeah.
I think that's not like to look after me, but like feel like she got to know me
Yeah.
and her great grandkids and stuff like that. So um that was a bit of it. But like if you're gonna like get down the road a few years or to the end of your life and wonder like what if, then I would say just do it. Because like I said before, life is not forever.
Mm.
And nothing has to be forever. Like for me, Fiji is forever. Like, but we want to be flexible with where we want to be.
Mm.
Like I want to like be here, like go back to Canada for a week and then come back here.
Mm.
And then like, travel around and like do fun things with the family.
Mm.
I don't know if I'll ever get there, but that's my plan and nobody can stop me. So that's why I'm confident in what we can do. But as far as if you want to start a new lifestyle in Fiji, any advice? Yeah, I would say do it if you feel like you're gonna regret it. Because like what like I used to work in sales and in a shop, like maintenance, like working on cars and stuff like that. And Steph, like back in the day, she was a waitress. We still have our cleaning company back home, and so it's like, what if this doesn't work? Then like what? We just get rid of our stuff, and then we'll move back and we'll do the same thing we were doing before. Like that stuff's still there. There's still businesses that need good people. You know what I mean? Like our business is still there. Mid rant here. So yeah, I'm not like that. I'm not that worried about like. I don't really put that much emphasis on like on decisions, because like I'd rather like what I always say is like to fail fast. And this is not my saying. I don't know where I got it from, but like fail fast, fail small, and pivot. So like you can spend 10 years planning for a trip for moving to Fiji and then move, and it's like not at all what you planned. Or you can just spend a couple of years, do it, and it's not what you planned. You move back and you failed small. You got to pivot fast, or it turns out to be awesome, and you ended up doing it way sooner than you would have done if you spent years and years and years planning, right? So even with business, like fail fast, like plan as much as plan. If you think if all the math lines up, fail fast, fail small, and pivot.
Want me to read the question from you?
Yeah, sure. I guess my wife's leaving me.
Okay, another one from Ryan. A lot of questions about
Hey, 1 sec until the truck leaves. Hey, wait.
She's not looking.
Look at my hands. Don't forget about the bananas in the back. Oh, good thing I told her. We got 3 bundles of bananas and we put it in the back of the truck. I mentioned it to her, so
Yeah. What was I saying again?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What was I saying again?
Oh, about Ryan's question.
Oh yeah. All right. Is there pressure on FSC to provide better administration, be more efficient, and to be more competitively priced to attract exploitation?
Because they have a monopoly on the whole industry.
Mm.
Like I can't come in and like start a sugarcane mill, or can I? Like, can I come in and start a sugarcane mill? Like, I bet you, like, I would have to go through all the government approvals and stuff, like any company.
Okay.
But like, that's what a free market would do.
Mm.
Is like, and that's what I've thought of before. It's like, why? What would that do for the sugar industry?
Mm.
And people don't even look, like people like me. I don't even look into it.
Mm.
Like, because like it wouldn't be hard to start like a low volume sugarcane mill, right?
Yeah.
Like do it in like a smaller way
Mm.
and market the product in a different way than FSC does,
Ah.
like value add to it.
Yeah.
But like because they have no competition, I'm not saying this is the way it is, but I'm saying like in a free market, like if you don't do it well, then somebody else will come and do it better than you, and then you have to do better,
Mm.
right? Or
Mm.
offer better prices,
Yeah.
or be more efficient and more profitable.
Mm.
But when there's no other competition, it's like
Okay.
I don't know how hard they are on themselves, or
Mm.
that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, there's just this. They have a monopoly on the sugar industry in Fiji,
Mm.
and so that says a lot, I
Mhm.
think.
Okay, one from Scott Sudano. Sudano? Sudano.
Hi,
Bula.
Scott. Bula.
Do you know if sugarcane is just a substance program, kind of like copra is in Kiribati and the Marshall Islands? The money made profit by the companies is less the amount paid out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but honestly, I couldn't speak to it.
Mm.
I'd have to look at the financial reports from FSC for over the last few years
Mm.
to see how profitable they are. Like, yeah, but there isn't anything there isn't anything wrong with like a zero profit like institution like FSC if it means if the alternative was having a bunch of people below poverty line, or
Mm.
just relying on like free welfare checks. So the only thing is like, then open it up to other people to open sugarcane
Mm.
mills, or other like hemp, right? Or people to plant like industrial bamboo, or stuff like that, right?
Mm.
Like other things that are probably like really would go really well here,
Mm.
but like aren't
Mm.
done.
No, a comment. We are in Suva this week. Or Scott. This is Scott again.
Oh yeah.
We're in Suva this week to be part of the YWAM Koha ship.
Oh
Being
cool.
here to do ministry for the next 15 plus weeks.
Wow. So that's like 4 months.
Mm.
Wow. Cool.
They have a ship that goes around.
Yeah, Marine Reach? Is that who he's with?
YWAM Koha ship.
Oh, okay. Koha?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've heard of that?
No, I haven't. But there was a YWAM, like I know Marine Reach and
Mm.
and them, they go like island to island, like offering like medical services and stuff like that.
Mm.
So that's cool. Anything else? Oh, let me check on the Facebook. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate your questions. Oh, why does it smell like toast up in here? Smell that?
Mm.
No, it's not that, is it?
Something
It smells like toast.
There's something on the mosquito coil.
I'm hungry for
Smells
toast now.
Hey, siapa?
Slingshot.
Slingshot?
This is
Oh,
Did-
the bed.
oh, you want to shoot the birds there?
Hey, Uso. Shoot the bat. Shoot the Becca.
Tell us about how your day went at Nui Island. Monish Bell on Facebook. Oh, it was really good. So we went to Nui Island and we conducted a customer service training there with the restaurant there, Nautical. just to help them, get off the ground and get started. It was great. I think we were able to offer them something a bit different than like cliche customer service, like what you might think about like a customer service course. So like because we're doing business in Fiji, and our goal is to create employment, and so like because that's our goal, like we have a very strong stance on like how to treat your customers, so that you have more customers, which means that you get hey, you're able to employ more people. So like really briefly, like did we talk about this the other day? Like the first thing we talked about was like answering the question.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So like if somebody asks a question, like answer that question. Don't answer like there's a big thing in the South Pacific or in Fiji at least with like you ask a question and people are like, why are you asking that question? You know? Like where are you going tonight? It's like you're thinking like, why are they asking me like where I'm going? And maybe they, you know, maybe or like where are you going like when you're on the road? Like, oh, probably because they want to ride, and so you just say, no, I'm just going up here up the road. Like I'm not going all the way. Just like something really vague, right? I was like, just answer the question and be honest about it.
Or maybe they're just like not wanting people to know where they're going.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna like go for grog or something.
Yeah, or maybe that. Yeah.
Oh no, just go out here.
Just go here. Sarah, come back. So answer the question. That's a big one, and it's a big thing in companies. Like for example, we had an experience the other day in our own company. Somebody said, do we need to order more of this thing? And the person that was asked responded with, we have this much left in stock. That wasn't the answer to the question. The answer was like, do we need to order more? And so when he said this was how much we have left in stock, then she had to figure out like, okay, so how much do we need before we need to like what is the mark at which we reorder? But like if you would have just answered the question directly, and then I said, whoa, wait, you guys need to like, you need to answer the question, and you need to realize he didn't answer your question. Do we need to order more? He's like, yeah. How much? And then she was able to be like, how much? This many bundles. Okay, conversation was over, right? So answer the question is a big thing. And actually, the problem is usually with the leadership and those at the top. So those at the top need to take ownership and communicate properly. Second thing was just like the normal thing we do, like it's my pleasure. So instead of saying don't worry, it's my pleasure. And then third thing was specific to the restaurant with customer service, like how to treat customers in the restaurant industry, because me and Stephanie also used to work in the restaurant industry, her in the front and me in the back of the house or in the kitchen. So we were able to give some tips on that, like specific stuff. So that's what happened, and I think it went really well. And it's actually something that we offer to other businesses around Fiji or around the South Pacific, is like these kind of consultancy services. So like this one was just our level 1 customer service training. So there's like 3 levels in total. And then we work with owners one-on-one if you guys want some help with your staff and stuff like that. And so if you guys need help with your businesses, I think the investment pays off very, very fast, because if you are able to get your employees really, really actually truly serving your customers in a way that they feel like honored by the way that they've been treated, that'll just like the investment you make into the customer service training, or like having us like give you guys some advice, will pay off very, very quickly. So that's it for today, and we'll see you guys again on Friday, right? We're going to 2 times a week
Friday.
this week. If you guys hit us up enough, we might do one on Wednesday if there's like a ton of questions. I'll miss you, Ryan. Thank you so much, Scott. And we'll see you guys again on Friday. This was On the Mat with Jonathan Bati. We'll see you guys on Friday at 4:30.